Talk is basically about use of autologous cultured osteoblastic cells in avascular necrosis in stage 1 and stage 2. As post-COVID, there is an explosion of avian cases, and unfortunately, as the previous speakers have said, more than 70% of them are going to require a total hip replacement. Unfortunately, affects the young, and mostly it is bilateral. So which are the cases which don't do well by conserving or by no surgery? And these are the head at risk signs, where you have more than 30% involvement of the weight bearing zone, when you have a lateral and the central pillar involvement, where there is a high curval angle, that is the articular cartilage involvement is more, and more than 30% involvement is there of the articular cartilages. Now all the examples that I'm going to show you later on, which are doing well, all of them are by definition are patient which should have failed, because I believe that if these factors are right, then the fate of the head is sealed. Sealed as in the patient has to undergo total hip replacement as per the current literature. So even if you diagnose it as stage 2, in spite of that the patient is going to fail. So why I believe that the osteoblasts are the future? It is because it's the only bone forming cell which is present in our body. Second thing is that it is responsible for neo-osteogenesis, and we have proof here because as you can see, the spillover of cells here in this patient has formed extraosseous new bone formation. This is, as you can see, initially, immediately post-op after curating, and within 5 months, there is an extensive new bone formation which is supporting the subchondral bone. Now this patient is 5 years post-op. So I believe that there are 3 generations of orthobiologics, with the current AALCO being the 3rd generation. The reason is that we have a definite amount of cells, that is 50 million cells. We have a definite cell line. So this is why we are using only osteoblastic cells. And third is it's a FDA approved product for this particular disease. So what we do is very simple actually. Mesenchymal stem cells harvested, which are around 1000. And then they are expanded to around 50 lakhs. Then with help of a co-decompression as a way of getting access to the lesion and forage, that is curating, we use a gel-based delivery system, and finally we are injecting these cells in the femoral head. So this is very simple for all of us. Looking at the lesion in AP and lateral, putting a guide wire in the lesion in the weight bearing zone, and then you are going to drill slowly. You, as much as possible, you try to stay away from the subchondral bone, and then finally you curate out the lesion. I believe that this is a very important step for getting success. Finally, you implant these cells inside the femoral head, and we have published few years ago actually, and we found that most of the patients, the integrity of the femoral head was maintained. They become asymptomatic within around 6 to 8 months of the surgery. So one thing that I want to ask you, in addition to the other criteria, is to look for a good MRI and to look for this delamination. So even in stage 2 hip, if there is a delamination of cartilage, this patient will require a hip replacement and is not a good candidate for any kind of hip preservation procedure. So this is a 35-year-old male patient. I had operated in his right side, he was 2B, that is early collapse. Left side, he was 2A. At the age of 1 year after surgery, he collapsed on the right side, and the left side continued to do well. Now he's 3 years post-op, absolutely asymptomatic. That is his MRI, which, like I said, all the criteria where he should collapse are satisfied. And I believe that on his left side, he is cured. I have operated on his right hip. I don't know whether you would call it as a cure, but it's a mental thought process. But he's asymptomatic on both hips. So we did his post-Alco retrieval analysis, and we sent it for histopathology, and we found that in the curated area, the bone which had formed was indistinguishable from normal bone. So again, this is one of the bucket list. This patient, 42-year-old, he developed bilateral avian, and after 2 years of surgery, he just informed me that he had gone to Everest base camp, and he went up 12 days trek, 17,000 feet he did. This is another 36-year-old patient, the guy in the red shirt. He is having avian. On the left side, you can see him dancing. He's now post, and I doubt whether with our normal hips we can do this stuff. And it is not restricted by age. 55-year-old patient, he did Kedarnath trek. 25-year-old, he wanted to exercise and he's exercising the way he wants at 2 years. And these are long-term results. Like I said, all of these patients are basically patients which should have collapsed because of extensive AVN. So I feel that this procedure works for a pre-collapse stage. It's very important to identify on X-ray and CT, X-ray and MRI, what is a pre-collapse stage. Unfortunately, most of the patients I see don't have a lateral X-ray of the hip. You can see a collapse on the lateral X-ray. It doesn't burn the bridges for a future THR, and it works very well for a future THR, and the patient can do most of his activity. So I feel that this is a very good procedure for hip preservation. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Gauresh.